Again, thank you for joining us on this Sunday edition. I'm Alex Jones coming to you from the TV studios of Infowars.com. David Knight is in the radio studios. Anybody listening to the radio right now can go to Infowars.com/show to find the free audio and video feeds at Infowars.com/show or subscribe to the nightly news at prisonplanet.tv. Well, I want to talk about the fact that the TSA can be abolished and can be removed by Congress anytime they want, and that we have the precedent to do that right now. In the 13 years of the agency, they have just plowed over the Bill of Rights and Constitution. They have expanded to the highways of the United States and to checkpoints. They are engaged in just all sorts of different unconstitutional behavior, and they've never caught one supposed terrorist in their own admissions. And then let's expand on that. Our own government's funding al-Qaeda in Syria and Iraq and Libya and everywhere else under ISIS, giving them weapon Stinger missiles. Our southern border's wide open. Saudi Arabians, you name it, are pouring across. We're going to get into some of those articles. But they want to go to bus terminals. The system wants to go to your school and set up checkpoints and train you that you're a prisoner, that you're a slave, but then all these illegals and the rest of them pouring in with the open border are A-OK. And that's the point I'm getting at here today. If we point out that our border is wide open and that Obama has openly brought the illegals in on purpose, on record, and show it's all a hoax, and show that Homeland Security has been set up for the American people, not for terror threats, and that it's a domestic police state, that's even mainline news admits that now, a domestic army, then the hoax, the fraud can dissipate and fall apart. But if people just keep going, gee, I wonder why the border's wide open, but don't connect it to the internal security forces that are really homeland insecurity, then we have no hope of ever reversing this fraud. The Border Patrol is now the Immigrant Importation Agency, or the felony or aggravated felony immigrant importation agency. But I wanted to go over some of what's happening with the border and then look at just some of the latest excesses and criminal activities of the mission-creeping federal unsworn Gestapo that is the TSA, or slave training system to train Americans that we have no rights. Prisoner induction training. Look at this headline. This is so big out of AP. This was last week. AP last Tuesday said U.S. releases immigrant families, won't say how many. The administration has released into the U.S. an untold number of immigrant families, not illegal aliens, caught traveling illegal from Central America in recent months. And although the government knows how many it's released, it won't say publicly. They were finally forced over a week after we broke this, back on the 18th of June and the 17th of June, with Jakari Jackson and our reporters down on the border, showing Greyhound buses pulling in, with Border Patrol giving them vouchers to then go deeper into the U.S., showing emergency managers, like the head of emergency management in McAllen, admitting the feds were doing this. We forced this into the national discourse after DrudgeReport.com picked up the story. And I'm just pointing out, mainstream media won't do their job, so Congress could keep denying this. Here are articles from the week before AP finally admitted this was all true. Caught red-handed, Border Patrol paying to ship illegals deep into U.S. Yeah, they're not just releasing them, they're paying to release them. Okay, let's continue. City official admits Border Patrol fronting cash to bus illegals to go anywhere in the U.S. Boom, June 18th. DHS to pay for illegal immigrants to be escorted into U.S. We even found at the Fed BizOp Homeland Security site where they were hiring them back in January and pre-deploying food supplies as well to bring them into the country. This is organized treason. That's why Biden gives them awards, says we'll get you lawyers. Obama has the illegal kids to say, you're the DREAM Act, we're going to legalize you. They have a deal with Mexico, has draconian border control, to let the South Americans and Central Americans come in on these trains as long as they don't get off. It's 6 months forced labor in Mexico. They catch you there illegally. So they've never let immigrants from Central and South America pour in. They had to get in through the Caribbean before, through the Virgin Islands, which has the highest crime rate in the Caribbean. Now they're pouring in right through Mexico, unfettered, organized. Another headline. Feds stand down as U.S. border collapses. Video of the border gates open, wide open. People driving in aren't even checking them. The internal checkpoint's wide open now. We have other footage of this. Border gates left wide open by Border Patrol. Again, that's all up on Infowars.com. Breaking as national news, ladies and gentlemen. Let's look at what else has been happening in the last week. Illegal immigrants hopping death trains, again, to U.S. hoping for amnesty. Well, they get amnesty. Incredible pictures of that. DHS questions over decision to let Saudi passengers skip normal passport controls. Fox News, they don't have to go through passport controls to get into the country. They don't have to get into them when they come through Mexico. This is the reality of what's going on. Infectious tuberculosis moving across U.S. border. ICE whistleblower confirms. Boom. Airport security worried about reporters, not Muslim Brotherhood. Our report on that. Muslim terrorists caught crossing U.S. border. Boom. Obama, judge rules border fence racist. Orders it removed. Border highway heavily patrolled by state and local police, but not Border Patrol. They're literally standing down. Crime waves hitting South Texas and robberies. National Review reporting on that. Democratic lawmakers propose lawyers for immigrant children. Reuters. Doctors warn of looming health crisis. Breitbart. On and on and on. Now, what's the rest of the story here? The rest of the story is, while all this is happening, while all this is going on, the TSA is now at highway checkpoints, bus checkpoints, kite festivals. They have the Army at it, searching people in Austin, training us how to be slaves. What a joke, while the border's wide open. This is being done, again, to break our will. Look at RT, ex-TSA agent. We steal from travelers all the time. Report, CNN. TSA employee misconduct up 26% in 3 years. TSA agent accused of stealing $8,000. On and on and on. TSA checks Mini-Me's diaper. The famous little man from Austin Powers, the famous Mini-Me of Dr. Evil, literally bent over with a hand down his pants with them grabbing on him. I've seen them do this to Jesse Ventura when we've been flying. Now they're going to raise the security cost and the security fee on airline tickets, AP reports, while you pay for all of this. It's all a hoax. It's all a stinking giant fraud. Wake up out of your coma, get angry, and say no. It's a police state takeover. All over the nation, Homeland Security is putting microphones up to listen to us and NSA systems to grab our data. It doesn't keep us safe. It's all meant to control us, period. It's time for you to break your conditioning and wake up. It's a hoax. It's a takeover. It's a fraud. They aren't even sworn officers. They're violating the Bill of Rights. They're treating you as if you're guilty until proven a New World Order slave. We're guilty until proven innocent. I want the Bill of Rights and due process back. I want my freedom back. I don't want to have the biggest prison population in the world. I don't want to have big banks laundering the drug money. I don't want to have the police getting armored vehicles for war with the Tea Party and saying that's their main enemy, not Al-Qaeda. This is a criminal takeover, and you have been warned. Admit I've been right. Admit InfoWars has been right. Admit we're all in deep trouble, and it's time to wake up. Back to the live transmission and David Knight hosting the radio show. I'm Alex Jones reporting for Infowars.com. Don't say you weren't warned, and understand, if you're watching this transmission, you are the resistance.
The globalists have controlled the mainstream media for a long time, but now they're expanding and making the weaponization even more vicious and deceptive. All the major networks are state-run.
We are partnering this year with the NFL.
The NFL has become a political weapon against the Second Amendment and pushes Obamacare. MSNBC tells us that our children belong to the state.
We have to break through our kind of private idea that kids belong to their parents or kids belong to their families and recognize that kids belong to whole communities.
It is more important than ever to realize that we are not the alternative media. We are the true media. The establishment dinosaur press is dying.
We are in an information war, and we are losing that war.
Join us at InfoWarsNews.com and PrisonPlanet.tv. Members can share their memberships with up to 11 people. By subscribing, you will literally be buying war bonds in the info war to expand our operation in the face of the tyrants. Join us at PrisonPlanet.tv.